Good morning, traders, investors. We got some good news and some bad news. The bad news is we got a lot of pockets of weakness out there. Friday example, we'll show you those stocks. The good news is the market didn't get knocked out over the weekend. It's on the ropes, though. Man, SMCI is still here. Nvidia, you call it the Barron's jinx, the cover of Barron's. We'll talk about their chips overheating. We'll talk about some notable upgrades and downgrades, mainly upgrades here on this Monday morning. It's the Lions. We got to talk about the Lions here on pre-market prep.
The volatility right now is really incredible.
Wow, look at that consolidation on the upper right chart.
You know what we've seen this earnings season? Some of these expected moves get even more violent. And this is why I have switched my strategy 10 years ago. And if you're chasing, you're in trouble.
Boy, I like that music, boom, 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 boom. All right, we are starting here. I've got my charts up there. First of all, well, no, I'll wait. Notice anything different with the charts here? S&P's up 3.25 here, holding that Friday's low. Tried to rally overnight, got snuffed out right where it should be at 59.1575. The buck up about a dime here, consolidating near the high of the move. TLT under 90, folks. 89.45. That's down 63 cents. USO, trying to put in a double bottom here, up 42 cents, 70.17. Goldman Sachs says you got to own gold. You got to own gold. Up $3, 239.60. Silver, SLV responding too. That's up 49 cents, 28.06. And Bitcoin still residing in the 90,000 handle, despite being down $985 at 91,000 even. Boy, I like that. Let's bring in Triple D, AB simultaneously. And what do you notice something different about the charts?
I see those, like the name of it, so clear, Joel. Like BTC, it stands right out. It looks cleaner. I like it.
You like it? Okay,
Yeah,
JJ.
I do.
Well, I don't know if he's listening yet, but a big shout out to Slava Davadu. He was the one. I kept trying to figure it out, and of course, he found it right away. I said, "Oh, you know what? Everyone's going to complain that it's too big, but you know what?
No,
I
it's
know
nice
we
to
have."
see what you're looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
100%. The watermark. Is it called watermark? Is that what you call that?
It is. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
watermark.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at
looks great.
this. I think we could end the show right now with all this love and everything going on right
Chat's
now.
loving us. Okay. And we love the chat. And we also love boxing, but I don't know if I loved the Tyson fight. We should get right into it here right now. It was started out okay, and then my stream just kept dropping, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I missed almost the entire women's fight, which many people said was the best fight, but I could not get logged in. I was trying, and people were tweeting and they were saying how good it was, and I was like, I wish I could watch, but my stream keeps dropping. I was texting my buddy Jeff. He's like, no, I've been down for like an hour. So they did figure it out. I got the last 2 rounds of the women's fight, and then I never dropped again. So I think that they figured it out eventually, like, because they just couldn't handle the traffic. I think 60 million people watched it. So the good news is a pile of people watched it. The bad news is the mics were going out. Holyfield's earpiece didn't work. I mean, there was so many just little mini disasters there. And then the fight itself, like, okay, the welterweight belt, with the 2 other guys, was excellent fight. I saw most of that. Couldn't see the women's fight, but everybody said it was really good. The Tyson-Paul fight, come on, man. That was just not good at all. It looked like Paul just didn't want to, take any chances because he didn't want to possibly get knocked out. And Tyson just looked slow and almost disinterested to a certain extent. So it was not a good fight at all. Stock is down 19 points in the pre-market, predicted by me last night on Twitter. I tweeted it out when it was trading flat on IB, 824, and some people thought it was going to go down, some people thought it was going to go up, but I was like, 1, catalyst hangover, 2 is the whole production just wasn't very good. And then you could say, a lot of people watched it. Maybe they can figure that out and get rid of the hiccups. But the stream dropping that many times really was an eye-opener that they've got some work to do before they can start taking sports like on full time here.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that there's a possibility that even had the stream gone perfectly, even had the main card fight been more exciting, which I think that's the consensus to anyone who tuned into the main card fight, that it just was not that entertaining of a fight. I mean, Tyson barely threw any punches. It was just a boring fight. And if you've watched other Jake Paul fights, actually a lot of them kind of go like that. Like, he's had a few knockouts. I know he knocked out Ben Askren, and he seems to
9 out of 10. I think he's been in 10 fights, 9 knockouts. So he does knock people out.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a possibility that even had the fight gone better, and even had the stream technology-wise gone better, we would still see Netflix's stock down a little bit today. I mean, there's just always a tendency in the market to kind of sell the news when there's a big lead up into an anticipated event, like we had over the weekend. Now, what's interesting with Netflix now is this is kind of their, they've made this foray into live sports. We of course have the upcoming NFL game on Christmas, which I actually I was just looking up the numbers. I would have guessed that there would be more people tuning in for the football game than the fight. It looks like that's not going to be the case, because I looked up last Thanksgiving NFL games averaged around 30 million viewers a game. The fight got 60 million. So I doubt the NFL game on Christmas gets close to that 60 million, but it'll still be around 30, 40 million, whatever it is. And now this gives Netflix a couple weeks to, figure out, okay, what can we do to make sure that people don't lose the stream during the NFL game? Because, as ticked off as people were, if all of a sudden the only way you can watch a primetime NFL game goes down, I think people get a little bit more upset about that. And it'd be one thing too. I mean, of course, if this was a pay-per-view fight and then the stream went down, I mean, at least people didn't have to pay. I mean, some people probably did buy Netflix for this fight, and then then they lost the stream. So those customers aren't happy. But in general, I think again, it gives gives Netflix some time to figure it out before the NFL game, which I think will actually.
I wish we could rewind Friday's show, because you guys know how much I watched of the fight.
You didn't watch it?
I didn't watch zero.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, you didn't miss much, but.
I didn't miss much. The reason, and I'm telling you guys, this is just simple. The reason Paul didn't knock him out is because Tyson's going to come out next couple days and say, you know what? I want another shot. I don't want these big gloves. I want to go at it again. And they're going to try and set up another fight. That's all they did. Paul
no, people won't tune in. People
not
won't
for
tune
this
in.
again. It was so bad, Joel. And a point to the gloves, and I made this point multiple times. Tyson normally fights with 10-ounce gloves. Usually your heavyweight bouts are 10-ounce gloves. They fought with 14-ounce gloves. It's a big difference. It's a lot more cushion, and it's going to really, it's going to be really hard. I said that for Tyson to knock him out with 14-ounce gloves. And Paul was just playing it safe, playing back, but the same thing goes the other way. Paul got a few good shots on there, but when you're taking a shot with a 14-ounce glove, it's a lot different than taking a shot with a 10-ounce gloves. Those are more sparring gloves. Yes, they go 16, 18, they keep getting bigger, but you're getting towards sparring gloves when you're up 14, where you can just take a better shot. So that's what I said, leading up to this multiple times, is I don't think there's a chance that either boxer knocks each other out with 14-ounce gloves. So especially only 2-minute rounds here too. So my official prediction, which I predicted before the fight, was Paul wins in decision. Absolutely correct. I did make a bet. My one bet
tell us about it.
Yeah, I did make a bet. I officially bet my son Spencer. He took Tyson. I said, I'll give you the 2-to-1 odds. I bet him $5. And he couldn't stay up for the fight, but in the morning he woke me up and he had the $5 bill. So I would have given him 10 if Tyson would have won, but I'm like, this is the easiest $5 ever, because there's no way Tyson's winning this fight. That's exactly what happened. Tyson, I love Tyson. I'm a huge Tyson fan. I would have loved to see Tyson. There was no chance with 14-ounce gloves, just summing up, and there's little chance that Tyson's going to get the kind of draw ever again that he got on that. He's 58 years old. We got to cut the guy a little bit of a break. He's just too old.
I don't want to go into a whole convicted felon kind of thing and spending 3 years in prison for rape. I don't want.
No, we're not going to go into that. Don't. Well, you brought it up. Don't bring that up. He's
done. You said you love him. I mean,
as a fighter, Joel, it doesn't mean I love him as a person. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm not going to like look at how Tyson's lived his life and say, yeah, I look up to this person here. No, I love him as a fighter. I love what he used to do. Like he used to go in there and just try to kill you. The aggressor, always not playing defense, let's just say back like Mayweather and just, not get hit and play defense. No, I'm going there just to kill you. That's the way he used to fight. This was not that Tyson. So, okay. Netflix down.
Down
Stop.
$13, 805. I mean, if you can find support in here, good luck to you. I mean, this is a huge run up. I mean, I don't see any. Pre-market low is just under 805, 804.30. I don't know, man. You're gonna have to sell into weakness today, and I don't know. I think my first bid over the next couple of weeks would maybe be just above this consolidation area between 750 and 760, because there's just no lows to lean on there for Netflix. So it's over with. We'll move on.
Lots of reasons for it to be down, all predicted by me on Twitter last night, and the main reason is catalyst hangover. Like this, to AB's point, may have went down either way. Stocks run up in new events. They typically sell off after. It's one of my core strategies. The strategy just works, although I did not short Netflix into it. I thought about it last night, but then it wasn't trading down. I should have, obviously, because now it's down $14. Let's go to Nvidia here. NVDA. This is probably your headline. I know Tesla's going to be the headline of the day too, but Nvidia is a huge headline here as well. It's from the information. The information has given us some crazy headlines in the past, but this one, that people listen. Stock is down 3.5% here in the pre-market. AB, give us those details.
Yeah, so the information reported that Nvidia is now dealing with overheating. So the headline is Nvidia customers worry about snag with new AI chip servers. So Nvidia is dealing with this, I guess, technology problem that's leading to some of its data centers overheating. And this is coming from the new Nvidia chips, I believe the Blackwell ones. Yeah, Nvidia's new Blackwell AI chips. Which have already faced delays, have encountered problems with accompanying servers that overheat, causing some customers to worry they will not have enough time to get new data centers up and running. The information reported on Sunday. The Blackwell graphics processing units overheat when connected together in server racks designed to hold up to 72 chips, the report said, citing sources familiar with the issue. So either way, this was one of NVIDIA's, highly anticipated new chips, the Blackwell. They come out. There's obviously incredible demand from all the, major tech companies, whether it's Meta, Google, you name it. They're all buying these Blackwell chips. But now you're having the issue with these data centers overheating. And that's, we've talked about the increased demand for energy as companies expand their AI infrastructure. You need these data centers. You need these up and running. So this is a big deal for NVIDIA, and you are seeing that reflected in the price action today, down about 3.5% after NVIDIA closed down another 3% on Friday. So all of a sudden you blink and NVIDIA is back down to around $137 a share after trading at all-time highs.
Going the opposite way. Usually these things go up into the reports, but yesterday, obviously Friday was a disaster for most stocks. And then, the information obviously coming out with that article over the weekend here. So the hit continues here for Nvidia. Lots of people obviously positioned on the wrong side here, and it's shaking out. I don't know what to say about this. Still long Nvidia in the long-term portfolio. I don't know, Joel. I mean, you get these headlines. It's not like we're in this market. Just one set up the landscape. I mean, you're getting so many stocks that are like cracks forming. Like, Biotech, we're going to get to in a second, is an epic disaster. But, it was a bad day for most stocks on Friday. So you're starting to see like this Trump hangover too here, where we had the big pop Trump. Obviously certain stocks really ramped. And then certain stocks were starting to weaken, and now we're starting to see a little bit of a Trump hangover here as well. NVIDIA reports Wednesday, so it sets up, interesting here if it's going to be weak going into the report, because that's not common.
Well, as much as if you have a stock like Boeing, right, that just bad news continues to pummel the stock, right? NVIDIA's it's just had the good news train, right? I mean, it's just a loved stock, owned by everybody going into the report. Big winner here. Is this just a one-off? Is that's what you got to determine here? Is this just, one, or is there going to be, a downgrade tomorrow? Or on Wednesday, or what's the report going to be? So I think you got to be careful in a situation and still love stock. People that were shorting it in this consolidation area, this is a bonus. This is an unexpected thing. Also, the Nvidia way on the cover of Barron's, the old Barron's jinx here. I'll give you a
Wow.
2-star level, 135. That surrounds a couple daily lows from the end of October and early November. So that's one level. Then after that, it's 132.11, and those are just minor support points. So see what happens. See if it can stabilize within the first 15 minutes. Back on the upside, though, I think now and going into the report, I think this 140 area is going to be important. That was the area of yesterday's low, right? 140.08. So that, that's pretty good resistance, but it's a loved stock, right? And this is one thing of bad news. Is it enough to turn the tide in it? Well, that remains to be seen. And Wednesday's report is certainly going to have a lot to do with it.
If we're
Well, Joel,
looking,
you got.
if we're
Go
looking
ahead,
at
It's
ratings, I just wanted to say Nvidia, 42 analysts covering it. I have, and this may not be correct, but 42. It looks like 39 buys, 3 holds, and 0 sells. It doesn't look like there's one sell on Nvidia here, which is, and maybe from some boutiques or something that aren't covered by the major analyst firms here. I don't see any sell ratings on the street, like none, not a one. So I mean, everybody's on one side of this trade too. So you got to consider that as well. Even the street, even myself, I was looking like I looked like it was setting up when it's consolidating at the top to probably break out into the earnings. Opposite things happening right now. So I think, there's a little bit of caution here. I mean, everybody wants to come in and buy the first dip in Nvidia, but to the point in the chat, things trading over 50 times earnings here right now. I mean, when we were paying 25 to 30 times forward earnings, because, back, a year ago, and people saying, oh, it's 100 times earnings, how do you buy it? I'm like, what's 30 times forward earnings? You had Dan Niles on CNBC with his numbers saying it's 24 times forward earnings if we got anywhere with these projections. He's like, this is the biggest no-brainer buy of it all. That was when the stock was $40, and I made my first purchase. Then I bought more at 50, I bought more at 60, and people said, you're nuts, Dennis, buying more at 60. Obviously, it was a great call. Stock's $137 here now. People keep saying, when am I buying more Nvidia here? I lightened up a little bit of Nvidia. I have half the size of normal position, about this price, at about $135, $140 back. It was in the summertime when it got up here for the first time. So I don't know. I just think at this point in time, I got to just, sit back, maybe analyze. Do I think Nvidia goes higher long term? I think so. But is it fully valued here short term? You're getting to a point where it's getting expensive.
Well, Joel, you got, your Barron's with Jensen Huang and Nvidia on the cover. I'll stick with Margot Robbie on the cover of my magazine here. I think she's a little bit better looking than Jensen Huang here. But let's stick in the chip.
Oh, and don't forget, Beyonce is going to be playing halftime of that football game. That's breaking news
on the Netflix one.
Yeah, yep, Beyonce.
That's good. All right, let's stick in the chip space real quick and go to SMCI, which is catching a bounce this morning, up about 13%. So did they announce they're finally putting out their the numbers that the accountants bailed on them?
Kind of. So on Friday they got, so I believe, and I don't know if you have it in front of you, and I'm trying to remember back to Friday because it's been a lot, but it was announced after hours. I don't have the exact headline in front of me, so if somebody wants to, give me the exact headline. I believe is an extension here again. So I don't think it's the official filing out here yet. So they're not getting delisted is the bottom line, at least right now. But it's still not fully filed here yet. So again, I'm trying to find the headline, but I can't.
The headline I got, so this actually came on Saturday. The one I'm seeing is Supermicro Computer to file plan on Monday to remain listed on NASDAQ. So they're going to file a plan today to remain listed on the NASDAQ, which when you're in that big of a, just downtrend of negative headlines, I guess even saying, hey, we're going to just do what we can to stay listed on the NASDAQ is enough to lift your stock here up again 13% this morning, about $2.30 here. So yeah, I mean, if they put out a thing and says, here's how we're going to stay listed, we're going to, put these accounting numbers out that we couldn't put out before, then who knows? I mean, but obviously So Super Microcomputer actually has earnings unconfirmed in 11 days on Friday, November 29th. We do have, of course, Nvidia this week, which will likely move SMCI because Nvidia is one of SMCI's biggest customers. But either way, getting a bounce here on SMCI becomes interesting, honestly, if they're able to kind of quell some of these fears that the stock is just going to be delisted and that the company has rampant accounting problems, all this. If they can prove they don't, then who knows? Maybe it becomes investable again.
Well, stock is dirt cheap if they can prove they don't. I mean, but
Right.
I think everybody, and everything that we're talking about here, it's all just about, can you believe the numbers or not? I mean, that's the only question to ask if you're an SMCI. Because if you can believe the numbers, the forward multiple on SMCI is 5. I mean, this is was a huge growth story. And the PE itself, even on trailing, is 9. It's one of the cheapest stocks you'll ever get. But with that being said, if you can't believe the numbers, you can throw those multiples out the window. So, I mean, that's the question. Are the numbers real or are the numbers not real? Are they being fudged? Is it a little, like didn't dot the I's and cross the T's? Or is there some serious accounting shenanigans going on in here? That's what we don't know. But when the auditors are leaving, the market doesn't ask questions. They sell first and ask questions later here. So, I mean, the stock has come down a long ways. If the numbers are real, stock is cheap. The numbers aren't real, you can't be invested.
And we're getting crushed
know.
here. I don't know what's going on with the market here, but we are leaking here big time. I don't know what's wrong with my
Well, you got
here.
Nvidia down.
Yeah.
Now people coming in. Netflix is down 12. Meta's down another 3. Meta's a disaster. I haven't talked Meta yet here, but the stock's going down every single day. So Meta had a horrible day on Friday. It's down here again today, another 5 points here, leading the charge down. I mean, it's a separation. You're a Trump stock or you're not a Trump stock. And this may be the segue into, biotech and talking pharma, because RFK sell-off is real here right now, folks. They are attacking the pharma stocks here.
Yeah,
and
just
you can put pharma. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say the news came, just the SMCI, like if you took it home thinking, hey, they're not going to get delisted. Well, you got the pop to 22, and I just noticed the last after hours print at 8 o'clock was at 22, and then it also got up to 22 this morning. So keep an eye on that $22 level. You're up at 231 if you took it home thinking, well, they're going to survive the weekend. So that's a good level for you in SMCI. And go ahead.
The
Go
RFK trade.
It
was officially announced Thursday night, I believe it was, and XBI got hit Friday morning, and XBI got hit prior to that. And XBI might be the best look at all of this here. 105.47 4 days ago, 4 trading days ago. We just fell off 15% in 4 days, and it is vicious. And there are people caught in this. I'm still long some XBI in the long-term portfolio. I went from it looking fantastic, like a breakout, to a disaster. I mean, biotech, and it's not just, XBI, big pharma. I mean, across the board, Pfizer breaking down here. I talked about, Bristol Myers, glad that I sold some. I mean, that's coming down. Merck can't catch a bit, goes down every single day. I mean, so it's not just small pharma, big pharma. RFK, we know, is more about, like health, a little less on leaning on drugs to lose weight. So the obesity trade's coming off here too with the RFK announcement. Lilly, straight down. You talked about Lilly, 950 back September, October. We're 740 here now, folks. The Lilly top, hindsight capital's 2020 always, but the Lilly top looks like it's in this time.
Yeah, and I think right now, and you can kind of take this to the overall market too, because we obviously saw the overall market perk higher in the immediate aftermath of the election, and then now a couple weeks later, you've seen the market roll over, and I think we talk about that. The one thing the market really doesn't like is uncertainty. And that's what a lot of these, cabinet nominations have brought in the last week or so, is a lot of uncertainty and saying like, okay, what will this actually look like in practice? RFK Jr. being the head of the Health and Human Services. What will this actually look like in practice with some of these other guys? And I mean, it's again, the market just doesn't like uncertainty. So if RFK came out with an exact plan of what he plans to do with these vaccines or the weight loss drugs, whatever it is, then maybe the market is able to tolerate it a little bit better. But because there's just so much unknown right now, it's not surprising to me at all to see some of these things sell off a little bit.
Yeah, and that is the unknown. And I mean, a lot of this, trade has just been the unknown to AB's point. I mean, we don't know even solar. I mean, talk about the tan. New 52-week lows again here. I mean, have your list. You got Trump stocks, and you got stocks that are not going to be as favored under a Trump administration. And I mean, you've just got to simplify it. If you're a long-term investor, this is 4 years, folks. This isn't just going to go away here. And I mean, we're going to get to the Tesla news here in a second too. But, so many stocks, and that's why, I've been repositioning my portfolio under a Trump administration to the point where, I sold some China on that pop. The Baba sale was excellent by me, $100. I tweeted it out that day. It's $88 here now. But, also I bought JP Morgan. I talked about that a couple days ago because I'm like, I need a little more Trump. And, banking is going to be, a little deregulation of banking is going to go a long ways. Not an expensive stock, 13 times earnings. Like, not cheap as a financial, but not expensive either. I went best of breed. JP Morgan, but I bought 241. It's 245. It's holding up here again. You can see the clear separation here happening. And if you're positioned to say, I'm just going to buy the dip in solar, I'm going to buy the dip, in all the pharma companies, because I know eventually they're just going to bounce back here. I mean, this isn't like, a hiccup here. 4 years of this, stuff could change. To Money Mitch's point, maybe margins shrink a little bit for pharma companies under a Trump administration, under RFK. It could change things. So you've got to always be, as a trader and investor, adjusting your portfolio and adjusting your trades for new market information. And that's what we're trying to do here right now.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he's throwing out some of these candidates, so almost thinking that if they get approved, it's going to be a big surprise, but he has people that are more moderate in the background waiting to bring them up. I mean, because it seems like none of these candidates are slam dunk to be approved, but charts don't lie here. And these moves, like Dennis said, I don't think I've seen moves in the XBI or the IBB. I mean, there's just damage. That this XBI, we were talking about, wow, monthly, it's going to break out. It's going to break out. We had several people on the show. They're like, this is it. This XBI, this is where you got to be. And you hit that monthly. That's just days and days. That's months. That's years worth of damage there. So
that's a year worth of damage in 4 days, Joel. That's a year worth of damage in 4 days, because if we go out to the monthlies, and it's a fantastic point you're making, the low of the year was $81. I mean, we just went from the high of the year, not at the low of the year, but we went like 60% of the way down from the high of the year to the low of the year in 4 days. That's 100% the RFK trade happening here. So, and VKTX, same story, that's been straight down, but you got hit, you had the catalyst hangover, but now you're getting all the biotechs getting hit, and the weight loss trade getting hit because of RFK, even though they were all eating McDonald's on the weekend here. I mean, we saw the picture of RFK and Musk and Trump all dining on, McDonald's in the airplane here. But I mean, you look here, and Lilly is telling you that this, obesity trade, it's coming off here now too. So a lot of the darling trades from 2024 having a really rough couple of days.
Yeah, that Lilly chart, we talked about that last weekend, Dennis, and boy, oh boy, look at that, the price action. First, if you think that you want to buy these stocks, wait for them to stop going down first. I mean,
that's it. Boom. That's it, Joel. And this is what I do wrong here too. A lot of times I'm like, oh yeah, it's cheap enough, I'll just buy it here. Wait till they stop going down. Wait till they at least start to base and start to hook and start to look interesting higher. Because right now, you are catching a falling knife in Lilly. You are catching a falling knife even in Nvidia here. The knife just started falling here, but you're catching it, folks. I mean, yes, it has earnings. It could just bounce right back and snap back. And sometimes they do snap back. But there's so much risk there that if you're just constantly, strategy session, 2 minutes, if you're just constantly looking for charts, that, all of a sudden weakness, well, the stock was strong last week, I know it'll bounce back. When they start falling this hard, you're catching these falling knives, it's hard to control the risk. And I will say that, if your long-term strategy is just looking for that, you probably in the long term lose money, because some of these trades don't bounce right back. Some do, most don't. So when you do that kind of technical damage like the XBI just did, that's serious technical damage. You have everybody who bought this thing for a breakout at 105 saying, what do I do now? I bought for a breakout and it's going down. What do I do? I can't take a loss. Heaven forbid you take a loss in your trading. So you have people, sitting here. They're called bag holders. So you have all kinds of overhead supply here. Right? I'm one of them. I have a little bit of XBI in my long-term portfolio. It's not on the trading account. If it was in the trading account, it wouldn't be. It was overnight. I did do the weekend trade. XBI did work again. Tangent, but I've already sold it. So, you get it out quick if you're playing this from the long side right now, because there is a lot of weakness here.
Well, one stock that's not weak, Dennis, and I know you're happy about this, is Tesla, which is up another 6% this morning, another $19, up to around $340 a share. So I'm seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis, that Tesla shares are trading higher following reports of Donald Trump's policy outlook on regulations for autonomous driving. So we talked about this, that even if they kill the $7,500 EV tax credit, there are other ways that a Trump administration could help Tesla, and that's including, some deregulation here on the autonomous driving space. Is that, Dennis, to your understanding, why Tesla's up so much?
100%, AB, 100%. And again, you have certain stocks that, are anti-Trump stocks going down, and you have certain stocks that are just simply Trump stocks. And it is Musk. If he wouldn't have aligned himself with Trump like he did, this Tesla would be just along with solar and the rest of them. But he did align himself, and now you can see the perks happening here. A Trump administration, now going autonomous drive and, talking, this is, exactly Musk's pull here. So he's put himself and Tesla into a position where this administration is obviously going to favor him. And, he took a big shot. If he would have lost, obviously pissed a lot of Dems off, but he took a shot and it worked. So, it's a big pop. Now, again, I've long Tesla. I've been long Tesla. I believe in the long-term story here, so I'm holding on to the long-term shares. I'd love a dip to reload even more shares. I've been trading it from the long side. I bought more shares Friday night, sold them into the pop here. Actually, I sold last night, which was too soon. Should have waited because it went up even more. But just incredible move here. With that being said, we are coming into overhead supply here. 350 is going to be a tough level if you're able to get back up there. So we're in a tougher market here right now too. So I don't know if I'm necessarily chasing. I don't like buying stocks up 18 points. But, this Tesla stock story is not going away.
4 a.m. pop, 349.50. That opening print.
Really?
No. The
we had.
Yeah, the opening print was 337.35. It went to 349.50 in a heartbeat here. I'm kind of comfortable saying that you're not going to see that level again today. I think right now, this couple high at 345 is still a good number to me because you had a couple good highs at that area, your 3 and 4 day highs. So if you're looking, think, hey, maybe I missed 350 on a scalp. I think if you get a chance to sell it at 345. That'd be a good level for today. You got a huge gap to fill in here today at 324.68. Don't know if that will be filled today, but I bet you could fill it this week. And I just wonder, if anybody's selling into this, this recent rally, Musk or Ron Barron or Kathy Wood, because
None,
this
Joel. Ron. So I'm going to squash that right now. Ron Barron was on CNBC last week. He says he'd be nuts to sell any Tesla. And Ron Barron has been absolutely correct the whole way. He's talking about the stock being up 5-fold, 10-fold with the humanoids, with everything coming. And he was completely bullish last week. So Ron Barron, unless he's completely lying to us, which I don't think Ron Barron is like that, absolutely not. Kathy, we know. She sells rips, buys dips. This is what she does. So we know what Kathy does and what she thinks is going up 20-fold. But she'll probably still sell some along the way because this is what she does. And who is the other one? Musk selling into it? I don't think Musk. I think Musk sold a lot of stock before. I don't think he's selling into it either. So, but, are people selling into it? Yeah, we're off from the highs. Are people going to use this lift? The overall market is, fairly weak here today. We got a lot of pockets of weakness here. So it's not the kind of market where I'm just like, I got to buy everything here. I got to buy a stock up 20 points. I always like buying dips. Let's bring Jeremy on, get his thoughts.
All right, let's do it. We've got Jeremy Schwartrz from WisdomTree hanging out backstage. Let's go ahead and give him our special guest intro and bring him on pre-market prayer.
All right, we have Jeremy Schwartrz, Global Chief Investment Officer at WisdomTree Funds, Jeremy, did you watch the fight on Friday?
Well, good to talk to you. I'm usually in bed. Like last night, I was in bed at 8:00. So I tried to watch a few of the undercards, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm tired." I fell asleep, so I missed it.
All right.
Yeah.
So we over. Okay, Dennis, did you want to make a comment?
No. Go with them. Yeah, we already talked Tyson
Yeah.
fights.
So at times like this, with changes in administrations, with uncertainty about interest rates, you kind of maybe take some keys from some better known, well-known investors like Warren Buffett. Now he's been selling for a while, selling the rip here. I know you've been observing some of his latest moves in the market, and I know you had three of them that you would like to touch on. Why don't you start there?
Yeah, so he's got record cash piles, 320 billion. He's been selling Apple, which is, you could say, hey, it's been a prime beneficiary of this tech trade. He bought it at 12 to 13 PE, and they've been one of the fastest growers, but also benefited from rising multiples. So they became, a 30 PE kind of stock. And the question is, are they going to be one of the prime? Some people say, hey, they're going to be a prime AI beneficiary, and hey, there's still a lot of upside. But Buffett was one of the largest shareholders, if not the largest, and reduced in meaningful ways. And Bank of America, which is not an expensive stock, BAC was a, it's more of a traditional value stock, but he's been reducing that one as well. And so the question is, well, what's his statement? And he's been saying for a while, he thought, hey, tax rates are going higher. Well, it doesn't look like tax rates are going higher now. Now the question, will tax rates go lower? And then you say who benefits from lower tax rates, but there's no question the multiples are more expensive. So at the S&P, it's 23 times earnings. It's usually, well, if you go all the way back in history, 15 to 16 times earnings. So we had three ideas. One is a place we talked about before with you all. He's been buying Japan. Of all the places that he's been buying, he had been buying these 5 trading houses. We have DXJ, which is our sort of flagship Japan product, and it has a currency hedge, which I say, a lot of people buy that EWJ that you just had there. That doesn't have a currency hedge. Buffett has been buying it with a hedge. He's been issuing debt in yen so that he doesn't, he says in his latest annual letter, he's like, I've got all these resources, but I have no idea what these currencies are going to do. So he's issuing debt in yen to hedge it. But by the way, you also get paid today 5% to hedge because of where the Fed is and where the Bank of Japan is. So you're getting additional return by hedging. I still like Japan. I still think stocks are cheap, still 12 times earnings, and I like it. And then
Stay emerging markets, and what about China here? Because China's fallen out of bed again. So is this a dip to be bought? Obviously, it's a little bit the Trump administration coming in with extra weakness here, probably because he says it's going to be really hard on China. Would you be coming in the dip on China, or are you staying away for now?
Well, we talked about that also, I think, the last time I was here, saying I definitely am still cautious. I've been saying Japan and India are my 2 long-term plays. Japan because it's a cheap value play. People are buying China because it's a cheap value play, but the cheap value, and you've got a different type of government that's not as, you could say we're the ultimate capitalist society today, and China's the opposite. And so then the question is, does it become so cheap that you say, hey, it's such a good bargain, and then you've got all the other geopolitical stuff. And so I'll admit that some of these stocks are cheap, but it's a very tricky dynamic, and certainly there's still more uncertainty with the geopolitics, with Trump, and with the tariffs. So I think you got to wait to see how some of that plays before getting meaningful long. We're still not overly bullish on all the efforts that they're doing to stimulate. We think that's tricky, but long term, to your point on trading portfolios and long term portfolios, I really like Japan and India as part of my long term portfolios.
All right, India's been under some pressure here. I'm looking at that ETF coming right down here. Just go a little bit more into the tax and the tax rates and what his move there, and how this how the current administration or the future administration is going to do. How is he going to have to adjust his strategy?
Well, obviously, there was a lot of talk during the campaigns about all these different tax policies that they want. Now we got to see what they actually do. Do they actually do it? But they talked about getting to a 15% corporate tax rate. There was fears that 21 would go to 28. You say, well, who's going to benefit from a 15? The tech sector already pays 15, actually. It's sort of interesting. The tech, because they move profits to Ireland, Puerto Rico, all sorts of places where they have low tax rates, they don't actually have the highest tax rates. Who benefits the most is a small cap local companies, all their revenue from the US. And in general, it's way more revenue from the US from the small cap companies. So you get like a 5 to 7% pop depending on the index. Small caps are more like 6 to 7%, whereas large caps are more like 4 to 5. And so I do think that's one of the things going for small caps. Small caps have sort of three things going for it, one thing not. Going for it is the tax policy. Going for it is valuations. We have three different baskets. DGRS is my favorite. It's got a 13 PE when the market is like, again, the S&P is 23. So it's 10 points cheaper. So it's got valuations, it's got taxes. Negative is, well, higher rates. The Fed's not cutting as fast as people thought. Now people are only projecting now 2 cuts by the end of next summer from now. We would like them to cut sooner. Our view of inflation coming down, but the market thinks only 2 cuts. And so higher for longer hurts the small caps a bit.
It hurts biotech here too. I just want to get your thoughts on the recent weakness here, because this is a real turn of events here where biotech, XBI especially, was looking strong a week ago, and all of a sudden the bottom falls out, and it's not just small biotech, IBB. That's one of the most vicious sell-offs I've seen in the IBB. It went from 150 down to 133 in 5 trading sessions. Obviously a lot to do with RFK here. What are your thoughts, on biotech going forward in this new administration?
Well, I think so. Again, if you come back to the trading portfolio in the long term, I'd be actually a buyer long term. From I think where is technology going? Everybody's excited about AI, the potential for AI. I think the sector that's not counted as much as who's going to benefit from all this development is biotech. Like when you think about what is DNA, it's just a bunch of data. And so you throw in a bunch of data, and they talk about how much new discoveries can be made from putting AI at the problems. And let's see, part of the whole Trump administration is we're going to cut down red tape, cut down regulation. The thing that slows down healthcare is how long it takes to get stuff approved and done.
Yeah.
And if they come up with a lot of novel drugs, can they bring them to market faster? So I think Make America Healthy Again, RFK's talked about a lot of stuff. But I actually am bullish long-term on the prospects of biotech. I think it could be a little bit of an overreaction to what's he going to do on vaccines. If people call him an anti-vaxxer, is he really an anti-vaxxer versus, he wants calling for more regulation, and what are they tests they're subscribed to? There's a lot of stuff there that's a lot of noise. But I think from a technology perspective, there's going to be a lot of developments in biotech over the coming years.
So, Jeremy, coming into this, the Fed decision a couple days after the election, it was pretty much priced in. It was a certainty that we were going to get, a 25 basis point cut, basically 99% chance. Now for this upcoming one on December 18th, so a week before Christmas, it's like 50-50 almost on the CME watch tool. I'm looking at it right now, about a 58% chance that we do get another 25 basis point cut, a 41.6% chance that we stay pat here at 450 to 475. Where do you see us going with interest rates just in general? I know that last time Trump was in office, he actually was urging Powell to keep rates lower when they started talking about, raising rates by a quarter point here, a quarter point there. Trump was like, no, let's keep rates, very low. So what are your thoughts just here on interest rates and the Fed more generally?
You saw when a reporter asked Powell about will Trump replace you? He took this defiantly, no, he cannot replace me by law. He can't replace me. So what Trump says, he can make it can be one of these things where he makes a lot of noise. Will the Fed actually do something? They're going to be going with the data. Now, some of the policies, if they're pro growth and borrowing, and more inflationary, that could mean higher rates. That's why the market's pricing out now only 2 cuts by next. It's a wild thing that they're only having 2 cuts by next. There's 5 meetings between now and July, and they're only saying 2 cuts. we think they need to get to neutral. Their neutral rate is 3.5 to 4. They say the neutral rate is 2.9. In this December meeting, they're going to start. You hear about R star, the neutral rate. Right now, it's at 2.9. They're going to keep bumping it up. We think that'll eventually settle at 3.5 to 4, which is where we want them to bring rates down to. We have these measures of inflation that strip out shelter. Apartment list. If you look at the apartment list data, it shows rents declining over the last 12 months, and in the official CPI, it still says 5%. So, if you were to put in the apartment list rent into the CPI, it would tell you inflation is below 1% right now, which is a wild number. Actually, when we put in an average of apartment list and something else, we're closer to 1.6, 1.8% for core and headline. But our general view that inflation's been trending well. They should be getting towards neutral. So again, we think they should be cutting. But right now, you've got a lot of pro-growth policies, so it's hard to see something like the recession on the horizon. And so it's a little bit higher for longer rates is the part of the outlook.
Jeremy, what do you mean exactly by that pro-growth policies? Because from what I've read from different economists, they talk about, okay, well, if Trump and Musk actually do cut $2 trillion of government spending, that could do the opposite effect of growth. Or if they deport 1.5, 2 million people, that's 2 million people now that aren't spending money in the economy that were previously.
Lower taxes, the corporates like lower taxes, more spending. Yes. So there'll be some sectors that could have some more inflation, to my point, of more inflationary impulses. If you have less workers from deportations, that's going to be higher prices. If you have the lower regulations are sort of pro-growth. And so if you have it, but so there's push and pulls on all these things. But in general, the board for the vast majority, lower taxes is going to be helpful and stimulative.
All right, Jeremy. Just overall here, we're through most of the earnings season. We have, of course, Nvidia on Wednesday. Coming into the year end, there's it just seems like nothing like year end tax selling. Well, man, there's a lot of stocks that have gotten absolutely decimated. There's other stocks that have just reached levels that you never would have thought. Walk us how are your expectations for the year end? It's been a great year in the market. We're still way above the post-election day low. There's a lot of optimism out here. How should people, we're a little over a month until the end of the year. Should they take a cautious approach here? Is it January effect going to mean anything? How should investors prepare themselves for the end of the year?
Well, January effect tends to be sort of that small value trade as we talk. You think what does well. It tends to be, it's generally been the small caps. I think for so long it's been just tech. It's just been the Mag 7 type stocks. And again, I come back to Buffett selling Apple and say, what do you do? I do think a lot of the current dynamics is favoring some of this sort of small value trade. And so DGRS would be maybe the top idea amongst those. But
what's the symbol on that one again? I didn't type it in right.
DGRS.
Small cap
quality. Okay,
yeah.
I got it. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So it's got some elements of what Buffett likes. He talks about high quality, high profitability companies, high returns on capital, low leverage. So it screens for all those things. It has a dividend anchor, so it helps valuations. 13 times earnings is, I think, a really good place to be.
All right. Well, we've been on the line here with Jeremy Schwartz, of course, coming over from WisdomTree. We love catching up with you, Jeremy, always giving us some good takes here on the market and the economy. And again, thank you for hopping on with us early this Monday morning. Anything else you want to leave us with?
No, you could stay in touch with us on WisdomTree.com. We've got a great blog, and I do a weekly podcast with Professor Siegel, Behind the Markets. We had Tom Lee on talking about the election and small caps and other things, Bitcoin, this weekend. So you can check out Behind the Markets as well for market content from us.
Awesome. Beautiful. Well, again, Jeremy Schwartz, the Global Chief Investment Officer at WisdomTree Funds. Jeremy, enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll be calling you up soon. All righty, guys, we've got about 10 minutes left here. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. 10 minutes till 9 a.m. at least.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about it right now. We are going to and we want your feedback here. So everybody's here right now. Last 2 weeks we've done a 2-hour show. We want your feedback on this. We are going to go back to the 1-hour format for a while here. It seems like people enjoy it. It's something we're considering bringing back full time, but we want your feedback. Obviously, we've got to get some sponsors. We've got to figure some stuff out here. So we are going to go back to the 1-hour format for now. But again, if you enjoyed it, let us know. You can email us, Joel, info@premarketprep.com. You can DM AB, myself, Joel. I'm at Triple D Trader. You can see it on the screen. Joel is at Spoos. AB didn't put his Twitter handle up there, but it should be up there under his name. So email us, let us know, DM us, let us know if you like the 2 hours. If you want to go us to bring that back.
Or even if you want more than 2 hours, if you want some extended market coverage later in the day. We want to make you guys happy. We want to know what you guys like, what helps you with your trading, what helps you with your investing. We know we have all different type of investors out there and traders. And, our goal has always been to educate, to get you guys ready for the markets and let us know our thoughts. I mean, I know we have a lot of sophisticated traders in here and a lot of people that have a lot of good trading ideas. So we want to know. We want to know what you guys are thinking. I get pumped up listening to Triple D at like 9:40 coming in. Yeah.
It was fun. There's going to be some work for me to figure out how the mechanics to get out of my opening trades, and obviously still, being able to do a live show. But, Christian's done a great job. Christian's going to be coming on more often with us. He's agreed to continue to help us out. We got Christian coming back tomorrow as well. So Christian can maybe help with that too. So this is something that, we want to consider. Obviously, there's feedback's been pretty good on the 2-hour show. We've kept, a lot of people have been watching it throughout. So it's something we're going to consider bringing back here. But for now, we're going to go back to the 1-hour format, and we'll let you know. We'll get some feedback, and hopefully we can bring that back in the future if everybody wants it. Closing print, they're asking. That's something we're considering bringing back here too, because Joel used to do the closing print. So we're going to try to bring something like that back.
They love the 2 hours. They love the 2 hours.
They do love the 2 hours. I know it's hard to end it at 9. So so again, this may be something we bring back sooner than later. So keep us the feedback. Keep enjoying. In the meantime, we got 8 minutes here left in today's show to continue to talk stocks. Throw us a few tickers here.
Ratings.
Ratings.
I've got some ratings pulled up. I did want to go real quick back to Tesla just for 1 second, Dennis, because I'm curious your thoughts on this. Because obviously the deregulation, the autonomous driving space, that's great for Tesla. But if that's why the stock is running up right now, what about the problem, I guess, with the fact that Tesla is self-driving, even if there's no regulation right now? Is it ready to be rolled out tomorrow? Because the data that I've seen is that it's not ready yet, and that Tesla still has more interventions per 1,000 miles or whatever than, I know Waymo and Cruise does it differently, but Tesla has the most needed human interventions. Yes. So that's not the holdup right now is regulation. The holdup is their own technology.
It's not ready. To your point, it's a fantastic point. It's not ready here yet. I highly doubt it's going to be ready in 2025, but it's getting better. I mean, it's going to continue to improve. It's going to continue to get better. As AI has more involvement, this may get exponentially better in a hurry. Some people are saying it's impossible to do without LiDAR. Gordon Johnson obviously has been on their show saying there's no way they can do this without LiDAR. Tesla's trying to figure it out. So they're going to try to figure it out without LiDAR to be able to do, just go in, have it, on your every single car. I mean, I think they're going to get there. I believe in Musk. A lot of people thought, he couldn't catch, the boosters, he's done so many things that my money is on that Musk will eventually get there. But to your point, timing of this, it's not like FSD is imminent all of a sudden. But one of the biggest hurdles, let's just say they get there in the next year or two, one of the biggest hurdles was going to be regulation. It doesn't sound like that's going to be a hurdle anymore. At least, it may go state by state.
It takes one of the hurdles away but the
it does. And that's why you're getting the pop here this morning. It's like, holy crap, this administration is going to fully support it. Looks like FSD. So maybe it gets there sooner. I mean, to your point though, AB, the technology still has to get there and it's not there yet.
Right. I mean, just for me, my thought process and my reason I'm bringing it up is this because to see a stock popping for a reason but that reason is still, ways away. It would make me a little bit tentative if I was going to buy Tesla because of this right now. But obviously, most people that own Tesla, they own it for a plethora of reasons, not just one or the other. And autonomous driving is high up there on the list. Let's go to some ratings real quick, though. I'm just going to rip through some real quick. Robinhood, ticker Hood, getting a upgrade to buy from Needham with a price target of $40. Hood right now at 32.5 bucks. Been one of the hottest stocks on the market really the past year or so. I mean, this thing went from $8-9 up to 30 bucks. So Robinhood catching that upgrade again from Needham, price target for $40.
It's a Bitcoin trade here too. We can say,
Yep.
obviously the brokerage, but this moves with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's going to 100,000. I'm long Bitcoin. I continue to hodl. I think Bitcoin, could, continue to be a story in 2025. I think under this administration, Bitcoin is a Trump play, which automatically puts Hood for me as a Trump play as well. I'd buy dips on Hood.
I don't know. I mean, they're coming in now telling you to buy it. I mean, you can. It's up 28 cents. I don't know. Just a lot of air. I mean, this was at 24 bucks. So if you want this longer term, I think there could be a better entry level for me. When I see this kind of move and kind of the mood of the market too, right? We pulled off that high. You had about a $3 drop. So I'd be looking to see how much of this move it can get back. That takes halfway back, takes you to the 33.80 level. That's also right near a pair of highs near the move at 34. So I'd be a little bit more of a fader of this upgrade than rushing out to buy Robinhood at this level.
All right, I'm just seeing. I'm going through my list. These are all coming in today. Any other that stick
Roku.
out to me?
Go to Roku.
I was really looking at that right when you said it. So Roku gets an upgrade from Baird, raises the price target to $90 here. So Roku getting some love, up about 2.5% this morning. It's at $70.50. So if it hits that $90 price target, you're looking at a nice little premium there for a $20 move from $70 to $90, which is what Baird gave Roku as its price target.
I like the Hood upgrade more than the Roku upgrade.
I agree with you.
Streaming, you had an ugly Friday. They're completely catching the falling knife on this, where Hood held up very well. Hood's obviously play off Bitcoin. I think Roku, you could bounce back 73, 74, but there's all kinds of overhead supply from 75 to 80. I think you're buying this right into resistance here. I'm not a fan of this upgrade here. So
Tough bar.
Really tough bar.
Yeah, it's because there's a lot of people caught from Friday here.
Yep.
I mean, that and just a 2-day move. So, anyone that said, I'm going to hold on and see what to get a little pop over the weekend, and well, you're getting a little bit of a pop. So, if you really think they can move this stock higher, the pre-market high comes in at 71.50. You've already leaked a buck off that. And then I think you just have to pick and choose your levels, because yesterday or Friday's high is way up at 74.50. So just going into a tough bar there. So I agree with you. The Hood one looks a little bit more favorable than just because of the relative strength that it had on Friday on Roku. Also, the Netflix streaming thing, it probably is not making people real hot for stocks related to streaming.
Wells Fargo. I just want to do one more. Wells Fargo upgrades CVS to overweight here. Here's another contrarian call because this stock is close to a 52-week low. And it's not only a 52-week low. You're talking about, back to a 4-year low here. Huge support. Maybe they're looking back because you go on a 5-year chart. You have huge support on CVS from 51. Back 2019, multiple lows in 51. 2020, 52 was the low. You're kind of right in there, 52.71, 52.77. So they're just calling this huge support level that we do see at 51 to 52. It is bouncing this morning. It's obviously up $1 here on the upgrade. CVS. It's been a stock that's been really beat up here too. But if you're looking at recent action here, the stock's got a lot of overhead supply, a lot of weakness. I do see the support they're looking at, but hard for me to get on board with this one too.
What about all the activists? Activists are coming into the stock. We're going to chase things around. Sold to you at 66 to 68 level. Dennis identified the major support that you have there. It's a up $1.11. Once again, you're going into a tough bar from yesterday. Keep an eye on 55. You had about Thursdays and Fridays highs. You're actually not too far away, 70, 80 cents away here. So if you're looking, make sure off the hop here, if they're really going for this upgrade, make sure they take this up to 55 and get a solid 55 bid.
The last one I saw that caught my eye was Nike, which it wasn't a change of rating. TD Cohen maintains its hold, but lowered the price target to $73.
Ooh.
The prior price target was $78. So Nike here, I mean, it's not one of those companies like SMCI or Boeing that has all these like glaring problems, but it's just been a sleepy, stock the past like year or so. And I don't think there's that much excitement around it. They did bring in that old executive, what's his name? Shoot, not Elliot Hill or something. I don't know. But Nike did bring in an old executive to try to.
That was the September pop, and we've given that back here now. I mean, you got huge support on Nike at 75, so we can just take the technical straight across. August, that was resistance. July, that was resistance. Old resistance becomes new support. It's finding support right where you want it to find it. So that's the good news. The bad news, this is Nike, and this stock is under attack. Competition coming from everywhere here. Just because you bring in a new exec doesn't kill the competition. On to eating some lunch here as well.
Yeah, great support at 75 and equally good resistance at 77.5. Kind of been trading within that the last almost for the entire month of November. So if you're a big Ackman fan, I know he's going after this one, but really no clear sailing until you get above 77.5. And on the downside, if you're looking for a potential entry, the lower 75 handle, what I'd be looking at in Nike.
I was right. The guy's name was Elliot Hill. Sometimes you just got to go with your gut. Joel, who do we have coming on with us tomorrow?
An old fan favorite. He'll be coming out early. No one else but the cow guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
My buddy Jeff, that's his favorite one. He's going to be,
really?
all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves the cow guy. Yeah, he's going to be pumped.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, today, I called Joel yesterday to ask if we were doing a 2-hour show today because I got a tea time today, which when you get,
so he killed it for AB's tea time.
Yeah, when you get
Blame
laid off,
AB.
One of the silver linings is you can go play a round of golf in the middle of the day on a Monday. So I'm going to go do that, take my time and enjoy myself today and go do that. You guys can guess the over under on what I shoot today. It's going to be a little bit chilly, so I'm going to guess around like a 86. I'll go 86.
You won't
He's
shoot
good
at
at everything.
86.
He's good at everything.
Wait a second. You're not going to shoot an 86 at U of M. I'm taking the over.
It's a tough course. It is a tough course.
Yeah, sold to you on that one.
Joel's not bullish on my golf game. All right, well, we'll be back tomorrow morning again. Scott Shellady, Cow Guy, will be joining us. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. Again, shoot us some feedback if you'd like. Joel sent the email or in the chat earlier. I'll go ahead and pop that up. What is it, Joel?
Yeah, give us some feedback. And we want to, like, for this 9 to 10, if we're going to do this, we want to hear from you. What do you want to hear in this? Did you enjoy, me talking the open, imbalances, strategy? Like, we can move into different stuff here, too. So we want to build it right for you guys. This is your show as well. This has been, your channel. We brought pre-market prep, such a dedicated audience. So if we're going to put time and, obviously more time into this, we want to hear from you guys. So give us feedback, what you want to hear. Guess, and obviously, like we said already, Christian's going to be joining us more regularly. He's agreed. So let us know. There's the email again. Email us with feedback here. If you'd really like the 2-hour show, email us. Let us know there. Lots of people are giving us positive feedback on it. So it's something that we're going to consider bringing back full time.
All right, Jay's saying 86, not really killing it. I would trust me today at the U of M course, a tough course. It's actually, fun fact, the only public or at least open to the public Alistair McKenzie course in the country, which is the same guy that designed Augusta National, where they play the Masters every year. So the greens are tough. It's a little bit chilly. Again, it'll probably be about 50 degrees, so my ball won't go quite as far as it normally does. But I will take an 86 today, even though Jay, I know Jay's like a scratch golfer. So if he's shooting anything above 75, he's probably not happy. All right, guys, that'll be a wrap on us today. We will see you guys tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern. And we'll have Scott Shellady, Cow Guy, excited for that. We'll see you guys then.